If you're on your feet all day, both the ASICS Gel Nimbus 27 and the Brooks Glycerin 22 are top tier picks for you for all day comfort. So the Glycerin 22 had a major update compared to the Model 21. It's got a brand new DNA tuned nitrogen-infused midsole. So Brooks feel like this midsole is revolutionising the industry because it's able to add in lots of stack, lots of cushioning without adding in extra weight. As a result, you've got two different types of foams in the heel and in the forefoot. You've got bigger, wider cells in the rear foot to help a shock absorb when you initiate contact with the ground. And you've got narrower, densely packed cells in the forefoot to give you a faster push-off phase in the gait cycle, whether that's walking or running. And you can definitely feel that underfoot, so when you initiate contact with the ground, it's a much softer landing on the heel, and there is some elements of stability to it, so it's quite a balanced cushioning. You don't just sink into it, it's not squishy, and therefore it's a little bit more stable of a platform than what we saw on some of the other models. In contrast to that, you've got a slightly updated model of the FF Blast Eco Plus cushioning in the Nimbus, so it's not as soft and squishy as the previous model, and it has an extra bit of up-tempo-ness to it as well. So if you want to use it for walking and standing all day, it gives you pure comfort throughout the whole length of the shoe. If you want to use it for running, it's that classic easy long distance running shoe that we saw in the Nimbus 26, but because of the more aggressive geometry in the shoe, you can also use it for some early stage up-tempo workouts as well, or if you want to do some strides towards the end of your workout. So it's got a much more aggressive forefoot rocker. It's got a nice heel bevel on the back of the shoe, so when we compare the heel bevel compared to the Glycerin 22, you can see it just comes up and it flares up a little bit later than where we get it in the Glycerin 22, and the forefoot rocker is just a little bit more aggressive than what we get in the Glycerin 22 as well. Now, as we move up the shoe, there are some more elements of stability to both shoes. So you've got some big sidewalls on the inside of the Gel Nimbus 22 on the heel, on the inside and on the outside. They come up, cradle your heel alongside a really stiff heel counter, keep your ankles centered, have to control pronation moments in the shoe. And whilst it's still a classic neutral shoe, it also has a broad base support and some sole flare, which comes out wider than where your foot sits in the shoe to increase the contact that you have with the ground. So soft, nice soft foam, but elements of stability to it. So we classify it as a stable neutral shoe. The Glycerin 22, while it doesn't have as much cushioning underneath your foot, with 38 mils in the rear foot, 28 in the forefoot, giving you a 10 mil drop, therefore that makes it a little bit more stable because the cushion is a bit more balanced. It's not as soft as what you get in the Nimbus 27, and then it's coupled up with a stiff heel counter and some smaller sidewalls on the heel, on the outside, the inside, and a tiny one on the forefoot as well that add extra elements of stability to it. So if you want a neutral shoe that has a bit more stability to it than the Glycerin 22, it's probably a better option than what we see in the Nimbus 27, even though it's probably a bit more stable than what we saw in the Nimbus 26. Then when we think about weight, we have 289 grams in the Glycerin 22 and we 303 grams in a size 9 men's US in the Nimbus 27, but it packs in a lot more cushioning with 43.5 in the rear foot, 35.5 in the forefoot, giving you an 8 mil drop versus a 10 mil drop in the Glycerin. And as we move up to the top of the shoe, both shoes have a slightly wider fit in the toe box in the normal size, so those of you with a broader foot will enjoy it. They all come in a wide version as well to accommodate those with a broader foot. Then we've got a thin gusseted tongue on the Nimbus 27, whereas we've got a more padded tongue that's not gusseted on the Glycerin 22. And the Glycerin 22 have updated the heel collar, so they've got very similar heel collars now, so it's plush and luxurious padding around the heel cup, and they've got nice pull-on external tabs as well. So they're both excellent shoes if you want to use them as lifestyle shoes for standing and for walking all day. If you want a slightly softer shoe, then you might enjoy the Nimbus 27. If you want a bit more of a balanced cushioning, slightly higher drop and a bit more stable, then you might enjoy the Glycerin 22. When it comes to running, they're both really good for long runs, easy runs and recovery runs at kind of steady paces. However, we feel like the aggressive geometry and the slightly updated midsole in the Nimbus 27 means that it could be used for some early stage up-tempo works or for some more strides as compared to the very classic geometry of the Glycerin 22. You can check out the latest prices of the shoes in the description below. If you have any questions, please drop in the comment section. Like and share and subscribing is always appreciated. We've got loads of individual reviews and comparison reviews of all types of ASICS and New Balance shoes on our channel if you want to check them out.